Hello and welcome everyone to the Hold for Hold Pro Wrestling channel slash podcast. I am here today to discuss SmackDown. We have just finished up SmackDown for the night, and it was a pretty decent show to be honest. Little, non-consequential. It was the go home to WWE Extreme Rules, which stick around if you're here on Twitch. We will be recording my Extreme Rules predictions tonight. But before we get into anything too heavy, too serious, like good old-fashioned wrestling, I would please implore y'all to hit that like button, the subscribe button. Follow us on both Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you are viewing this. Please stay connected. We are Hold for Hold, and by we, I mean me and you. And with all that branding aside, let's kick off SmackDown. Well, actually, let me give my overview a little bit. Just talk a little bit of the overall what I felt about the show. I felt the show was good. It breezed by, to be honest. It was a quicker feeling SmackDown than usual. I felt like everything was mostly done in the ring. I mean, there were some short matches and there was a lot of talking bits, but none of the promos overstayed their welcome, and they all advanced actionable stories that we're going to see results to either in this show or in the next one. So I always enjoy that when there's a promo that's kind of going nowhere, kind of like Karrion Kross's promos on Raw. That's where it can get bogged down, but I felt today they really stepped it up. Everything flowed into each other really well, especially a couple segments which I'll highlight here. But let's kick things off with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. The man is kicking off the show tonight. She comes out. Mixed reactions for Bianca, which I'm glad to see that, at least some fans are acknowledging that she is a heel. And I think it's getting the right amount of heat. Especially, I think after this match at Extreme Rules, it's going to be legitimized that she's a heel. But we'll talk about that more in my predictions. She's getting mixed reactions. She starts off her promo by saying that Bianca started the fight last week by not letting go of her hand, and she didn't want to embarrass Bianca in front of her family. But what choice did she have? This brings out Bianca. She says that she has proven why she is the EST, and she's achieved everything that Becky has in a quarter of the time. I thought that was a great line, and the crowd really loved that as well. She says that they both know that match at Extreme Rules is happening and that Bianca's going to win. Of course, pointing to the fact that she did not know that SummerSlam match was going to happen. So, a good little bit there. I think they had great back and forth. These two have chemistry both on the mic, and I'm sure if you've been on wrestling Twitter, you've seen they've had a few dark matches now where they have tore it up. So I'm really looking forward to their match. Bianca puts out her hand for another handshake. Becky slaps Bianca, and a brawl ensues. Bianca reverses out of a manhandle slam into the KOD, standing tall, which is never good. You don't want to stand tall on the show before Extreme Rules, before a pay-per-view. So, doesn't look good for Bianca here. My only gripe with this segment is that it was so good, I wish we would have got it last week. I wish we would have got this at the homecoming. This stand tall moment for Bianca. And it could have easily been there. You know what I mean? WWE loves to embarrass people in their hometown, and I really don't like that. And, sometimes whatever, it really gets heel heat. But I felt that last week, one, it didn't really get any heel heat. Two, this segment happening last week, and then last week's segment happening here, Becky standing tall, would at least cast some doubt onto the pay-per-view, which I always feel like these B-level pay-per-views never really have. There's never much doubt involved with the matches. So, yeah, that's my only concern. That's my only real critique here on this segment, because overall, these women are fantastic. They're going to tear it up on Sunday. We all know that. And they should main event on Sunday. But again, talking a little bit too much about Extreme Rules, which we will cover directly after this. And if you're watching this on YouTube, should be up by now. Should be my Extreme Rules prediction should be up by now. So following that, we go to commercial, come back. We have a Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews for the IC Championship. Fantastic match here, absolutely fantastic match. Might be my match of the night. It was pretty short. Sorry, it was a pretty short match and it was fast paced. So Apollo takes control early by using his power advantage. He throws Nakamura to the outside. We go to commercial. We come back. Nakamura is making a comeback with his kicks, just striking down Apollo and creating some distance because, as you know, Nakamura has kind of a lanky figure, so he can keep the distance from Apollo, not allowing him to hit any power moves. We see that sliding German suplex from Nakamura to Apollo, which I always love seeing. We get a big drop kick to knock down Nakamura out of midair. It looked like Nakamura was going for his middle rope knee there, and Apollo Crews just drop kicks him right out of the air. It looked great. Nakamura eventually does hit that knee from the middle rope, and Apollo has a great sell for it, basically flopping on his head. Nakamura looking for the running Kinshasa, but eats a Samoan drop instead. We get a power bomb from Apollo to Nakamura, and he picks him back up for a second, but Nakamura slips out, and he just hits a nice kick from that. I was thinking it was a Kinshasa, but no, it was just like a windmill kick. It looked fantastic, though. I really thought he was going to get multiple power bombs. So gearing up towards the finish here, Apollo rolls to the apron to avoid a Kinshasa attempt. Nakamura ends up kicking Commander Aziz, but Commander Aziz doesn't really budge. He gets in Nakamura's face. Boogs turns him around, gives him a deadlift T-bone suplex, which looked fantastic. And then Nakamura rolls up Apollo in the ring for the win. The roll-up was really cool as well. As you know, he'll do that like transition, that standing armbar, like he'll roll his whole body on him. And he did that transition, but into a roll-up instead of the armbar. It looked fantastic. And it looks snug. I love when a roll-up looks like, yeah, you can't escape that. So, looked fantastic. Fun match there. Boog celebrates with another guitar riff. It was fantastic. Really enjoyable match, honestly. I would love to see these two have a rematch. Absolutely would love to see these two have a rematch. Honestly, at this point, I think they're going to go into a tag team match, especially with that T-bone to Aziz, which should still be a lot of fun. We could probably see that on the pre-show of Extreme Rules. But again, I would love Nakamura, Apollo Crews. Give him 20 minutes. Give him 20 minutes for the IC title. That'd be fantastic. Sometimes that's what you need, you know? You just need two wrestlers to just be good in the ring. And I feel like I haven't seen Nakamura wrestle in a while, and this was my reminder that just how good Nakamura can be. And same with Apollo. Apollo held his own here. No doubt about that. But moving on, we have a Montez Ford interview. He is alone. Dawson is at a wedding, he says. But he says he has a lot of feelings about Sunday, but being concerned isn't one. He says that Roman's been treating the Usos like bloodline bitches. It's a great promo here, just really acknowledging the fact that they have a matchup against the Usos on Sunday and bringing it back around to how the Usos just aren't the champions they used to be. I thought it was fantastic work. It was short, sweet, and God, Montez Ford is just so natural. Immediately following this, almost like a transition, like a PowerPoint transition, we see Roman in his throne backstage with Heyman over his shoulder like a goof. And he just says, plain and simple, he wants a match with Montez Ford tonight. He tells Heyman to make it official. Oh, I pop for this because I love Montez Ford and I love the Tribal Chief, so I knew this was going to be a fun match. We go to commercial and we come back. Paul Heyman is with Sonya Deville and Adam Peirce backstage. And he pops up to him, and Adam Peirce and Sonya giving him grief, telling him they don't know where Brock's going to be drafted, so don't even ask. And Heyman shakes it off. He doesn't believe that he's not feeding into that cycle. And then he just pitches that Montez and Reigns have a match as the main event. They agree, and then he says after the match they'll discuss the draft further. So a little bit of a nugget there. We don't know if he's hinting at the Brock Lesnar's draft or, Roman Reigns, where he's going to end up. So a nice little hint there. Following that, we get a Seth Rollins promo. Seth Rollins is wearing a red suit with a pink shirt underneath and a red tie. It's a good look. Okay, I know it sounds stupid, but it's a good look. He says he hasn't heard a peep from Edge. In this promo, by the way, he is hard. He's like right here towards the camera, just eyeing you down. fantastic work from this, like, just serious and scary, menacing. It was good work. He says that he hasn't heard a peep from Edge since he challenged him last week. And he says that's okay because your silence is deafening and it reveals the truth that you're hurt. And normally he would just let it be at that, but he can't. He wants an answer from Edge. He tells Edge to be at SmackDown next week and for him to tell Rollins how superior he is to him and that he has officially ended his career. And he says, if not, he'll find where you sleep and beat it out of you in front of your wife and kids. Really, really good promo here. And again, it wasn't too long, which always helps because sometimes you can get these rambling promos when your opponent's not really there. But this was short. This was sweet. It was good work here. And later in the night, we will find out that Edge tweeted that he will be at SmackDown next week, which I believe is night 1 of the draft. So pretty important night already. Edge is going to be there. It's going to be fun to see. Don't think we're getting Edge Rollins 3, though. I think we'll get that a little bit down the line. From here, we get the low point of the night for me again. And it's really not these performers' fault. It's the time constraints that they were given. Zelina Vega defeats Liv Morgan in a singles match, which the outcome already was shocking, but let's run this down real quick and then I'll give my full thoughts. Starting off the match, Liv with a couple of nice drop kicks. She matrixed out of a clothesline and then right into a roll-up of her own. We get a nice dragon sleeper from Zelina. Liv connects with the catapult that she did to Carmella last week. And, I forgot to mention, Carmella's on commentary this whole time, which is only about 3-4 minute match. And she's just blabbering on about how good she looks, and she wants Michael Cole to acknowledge how good she looks. Acknowledge me. But he never really does. So, anyways, Liv connects with that catapult she did to Carmella last week that, like, broke her nose. And Carmella, at that point, immediately gets up on the apron, starts to distract Liv. Zelina hits a boot and then gets her into the center of the ring for a code red for the win. It was a fine match. It was just way too short. If you would have told this story over a longer period of time, much like what they do for the Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, and Damian Priest storyline that they do, they give those performers time to wrestle, and then so commentary can keep building the story with the person on commentary, in this case, Carmella. So that's what I would have preferred to have seen is just this segment longer. Because I thought the chemistry between Liv and Zelina in the ring was really fun. And they just were both meshing on a good level that I could have watched that match for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, But, all right, it's fine, I guess. At least we got, multiple women segments tonight, which is always an improvement. But none of them were terribly long. Following that, we get the debut of Happy Talk with Happy Corbin. This is, of course, his talk show. So he starts off saying that his show is going to be different from everyone else's, that he's not going to call out guests and get them all riled up, blah, blah, blah. So Corbin announces his first guest is himself. He sits down in his own chair. He starts to brag about how rich he is and how he's happy again. This drags out Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes out but is attacked by mystery attacker. It's Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss attacks Kevin Owens, and then he and Happy Corbin chokeslam KO onto the ring steps. Thought the segment's fine. It's whatever. It's fine. I don't know. Riddick Moss, I know, is not going to pop anyone, really, as a debut, but I think this role is going to be good for him. Corbin has been doing really good work lately, and I think him having, like, a muscle there is really going to legitimize him. I say this word every week, and I can't pronounce it, so we're going to have to get used to that. It's going to help to solidify Corbin. It could possibly propel him into a IC title feud with the odds stacked against him. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm going to give this the benefit of the doubt. I know a lot of people are already comparing this to when Moxley was like 1 month away from leaving WWE and they try to bury him essentially. I don't think this is it. I don't think they're trying to bury Kevin Owens here. I don't think there's any ill harm here. And I think this is actually going to be pretty fun to watch. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I really think that I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I think this could be something good. Riddick Moss is a pretty decent wrestler, and I think this pairing actually looks good. It looks way better than Corbin and who is he with? The Dirty Dogs once? Yeah, like that pairing was odd. Him with McIntyre and Braun Strowman, that was odd. This is the most fitting pairing I've seen him have since he's, arrived on main roster. So I think it'll be okay. We'll let this ride out. Following this, we get Montez Ford's response to that challenge that Roman had laid out. He says he doesn't regret what he said. He does say that his big mouth has landed him into a huge opportunity, and he just wishes Dawkins was there to see him do it, and he wants the smoke. Just so natural. I really enjoyed Montez's interviews tonight. I felt like he was channeling a little bit of Eddie Guerrero, just how slick everything was coming off his tongue, just perfectly done. It felt conversational, it felt real, and then when he mentions Dawkins, it feels heartfelt. So I really enjoyed it. Call me a Mark, I love it. Following that, we have Nikki A.S.H with Rhea Ripley versus Natalya from Super Brutality. I did not know this was their team name. Maybe I'm behind here. Maybe they just said this, but Michael Cole called them Super Brutality. God awful name. That's terrible. Sounds like a 93 wrestler. Just Atom Bomb type of wrestler. Not good name. Not a good name. I like their punchline of they've dominated through decades. So I think you could have done something there, but I don't know. I'm not going to try to think of one on the spot. It's just Super Brutality. Not good. Not a good name. This very fast match. Natalya has control. I'd say early, but it was pretty much the entire match. She has control. She hits a nice snap suplex from the corner. Tamina gets on the apron, and Nikki rolls up. Nikki rolls up Natalya. I mean, this was short, y'all. This was like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes tops. This was really short. They lost. They go out to the outside. They're whining from the outside. Tegan Nox and Shotzi show up in their tank, and they fire their missile, which was really loud and kind of scary. And they fire their tank. The champs are in the middle looking at their two biggest competitors. So it's nice to see Shotzi and Tegan back, but I don't know. It's just like this was just too short to be anything. You know what I mean? Like I can't even judge what is going to happen next because this was like a minute and a half. I don't know. I mean, you're putting Tegan and Shotzi back in the picture, which I like, and hopefully we get to see more of them on Raw. But for now, it's just this fell flat for me because it was 1.5 minutes of a match, and then this. It's whatever. Following that, we have Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic backstage. They're reviewing the tape. Ray's showing him on his iPhone. See right there, you were too slow. You could have got the pin. As if they haven't already talked about this the week before or the minute as they went backstage last week. So, but it's fine. Dom tells Ray that he's suffocating him, and I like the little bit of Spanglish that was happening between them. Felt very natural. I always like when they let them do that. They don't have to be just so on script. It was like nice to hear them go dip in and out of what they would probably be saying. So Ray kind of stomps off because Dom's, not listening to him. Sammy comes in. He tells Dom, hey, I'm not here to fight. I'm just here to tell you you're getting better every time we're in that ring and that you should just get rid of your dad. Essentially telling him to just ditch his dad, which I loved Sammy in this. First of all, I love Sammy in this because he was natural, conversational, all the things I love from wrestling promos. This felt fly on the wall. It wasn't explained why the camera's there, and I don't need it to be. But I enjoyed this segment. I think that I know a lot of people they're going to turn Dom heel. I don't think that's going to happen here. I really think that it's going to be like a family embrace. Like Dom's going to figure out how to win a match with Ray's help, not without it. I could be wrong here. I could be completely off base. They might do a heel turn, but I just don't see it happening. And I think the better story is Dom and Ray learning how to, communicate to each other as a father and son. And then they, overcome the odds of Sami Zayn, who is one of the best wrestlers in the world, And just because he's booked like a fool in WWE, you shouldn't forget that Sami is one of the most well-traveled, well-respected wrestlers in the world. So, I don't know. This is just me. This is my opinion. As a fan, that's what I'm seeing. And I really hope that I'm right here. Following that, Naomi comes out to the ring. She calls out Sonya Deville. She says, I've been fined, I've been disrespected, I've been ignored, but no longer. She wants a match tonight, and she challenges anyone in the back to come out. Well, Buzzkill Sonya Deville comes out, and she shuts that down. She says she makes the matches around here, not Naomi. And Naomi starts a chant, the make the match chant, and so the crowd is going with that. Naomi challenges her to a match. She says that she's not even a good official because she hasn't even done what she says she's supposed to do, make matches. At that point, Sonya has enough of this. She cuts off Naomi's mic and calls for security. Security, I really thought we were going to get a Stone Cold moment of Naomi taking down the security guards because they kind of looked, kind of dullard-ish, kind of dumb. They weren't really like, I don't know. They weren't grabbing her. They weren't corralling her either. They were the worst security I've ever seen. And towards the tail end of this, Sonya starts yelling at the security, "Grab her! What are you doing? Grab her! Move her!" And I thought it was pretty stupid. And Naomi looked kind of weak for not, retaliating. She kind of just leaves. So I wasn't the biggest fan of how this ended, but I do think the bigger message is how over Naomi is with the fans and how much everyone wants to see Sonya Deville and Naomi go at it. So with that in mind, I'm really excited for whenever they decide to have this match because I love Sonya Deville and I love Naomi. So I think this match is going to be fantastic. Just wish it was in time for, Extreme Rules, but it's not going to be, and that's fine. I wouldn't mind this on SmackDown. I wouldn't mind this story continuing in the draft, if Naomi does get drafted to Raw and Sonya still gets her, shut off the card, like not able to have a match on Raw. Really continue this on. I think that'd be really fun. It'd be frustrating for fans, I think, but I think that adds to the story of this, and so when they eventually meet up, it'll be worth it. I don't know. Again, I have some thoughts, man. I'd be thinking and stuff. Following that, the Bloodline are making their way to the ring. It's Roman, Heyman, and the Usos tailing right behind. But the Usos get distracted by Alpha Academy. They just stare at each other, and the Usos kind of shove the titles right in their face. We're tough. So, yeah, no words were spoken either. Go to commercial. We get another Becky Lynch promo. She says she's not scared of someone she already beat in 26 seconds, and she has been champion as long as she's been an active competitor since WrestleMania 35, and that's not changing anytime soon. Just hyping me up even more because I love this feud and I can't wait to see this match. Following that, we had the main event, Roman Reigns versus Montez Ford. He wants the smoke. Cole mentions, so we start off the match here. First things first, Roman is wearing the red glove, which I like that. I don't know if it's a subtle hint, of like him still holding on to, I own WWE, I own both shows. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too deep into it. Maybe his other glove was dirty. Either way, he was wearing the red glove. Love that. Second of all, Cole starts off commentary in this match by mentioning that the Street Profits could be separated in the draft. God, please no. Do not separate them. This is not the time to separate them at all. First of all, they should be a New Day type tag team. They never separate. They never break up. They can pursue singles run as a tag team, much like how stables work. I think it would be a shame if they did split them up in the draft. So I just wanted to put that out there. Put it out there so they don't think of that. So early in this match, Montez Ford gets a nice drop kick that sends the Chief to the outside. Come back from the commercial. Roman Reigns is in control now. He hits a nice clothesline in the corner. Montez tries to make a comeback. He is just chopping at Roman. He's in him in the chest and the abs and the sides. He was just chopping at him. Roman catches a kick. Montez backflips out and hits an enziguri. Montez tries to get on the table and continue the offense on the outside. So he tries to get on the announce table, and it just collapses as soon as he steps his foot in it. And thankfully, he didn't slip or nothing. But yeah, it was a pretty funny moment. And Pat McAfee says immediately as that happening, he's like, "Man, it's probably because my fat ass was dancing on it earlier," which I thought that was hysterical and so natural. Pat McAfee, truly a treasure on commentary. Roman gets back in control once they're in the ring. He launches Montez Ford up for a huge flapjack. Ford tries to make a comeback. He hits a huge springboard crossbody and a handspring. He just does a bunch of handspring offense. And then we get a blockbuster for 2, and he really sinks in the pin on that blockbuster. Looked fantastic. Roman comes back. He hits that uppercut. Then he gets an Uranagi for 2. And man, his Uranagis are amazing. Heading towards the finish here. Roman is driven into the post, so he goes to the outside. Montez Ford hits a penalty kick from the apron. Get a huge frog splash attempt, but Roman's knees are up, and he hits him with his knees and then opens his legs back up so he can get him in the guillotine. I really enjoyed that fluid motion. And guillotine's locked in. Montez taps before kind of passing out. Post match here, Heyman gets into the ring, gets on the mic, and tells Roman to keep going, to show Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor and the Demon what happens when you mess with the Tribal Chief. And so Roman's like, this is a good idea. So he tells Heyman to tell them to get the Usos out here. And I love this because you can see the real chain of command, first of all. You can see Heyman go towards the ropes, and he's yelling at the bell guy, turn on the Uso music. Uso music. Fantastic. And then, of course, the Usos do come out. They give Roman a chair, and Roman starts just beating on Montez Ford with that chair. The Usos set up a table on the outside. Roman takes Montez and gives him an Uranagi through the table. Look fantastic. And then the Demon is here. Lights go black. We come back up. It's red light. The Demon is standing on the post, on the very top of the post. Hits a huge crossbody onto the Bloodline. And then he just starts whacking everybody with kendo sticks. Gets Roman back in the ring. Roman does something. I think he tries to hit him with the chair. Balor takes the chair, starts blasting everyone with the chair from there. Roman on the outside. We get a beautiful plancha from the Demon to the outside. And that's how we end off SmackDown tonight, with the Demon standing tall. Like I said, I thought this SmackDown was pretty breezy. It didn't have, too much consequence. Didn't stray off the beaten path of a typical WWE go-home show. But with that in mind, it was still really fun. I really enjoyed this through line between the Bloodline and Montez Ford, and how that's going to play into each of their matches come Sunday. And we will talk about that soon if you're here on Twitch. But overall, this was a fantastic show. I gotta stop saying fantastic. This was a good show. So I think I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I thought this was fun. And that main event was pretty good. It was a good way to see the Demon again. I'm not the biggest fan of the Demon character. I've mentioned it before, but it's okay. 3 out of 5 stars for the overall show. As for the spot of the night, it's got to be that Uranagi through the table. I thought that was so good. I love a good Uranagi. I guess that's it from me today. Let me know what you guys think, how you guys feel going into Extreme Rules. Who do you guys want to see win? If you are here this long, please leave a like. At this point, why not like it? But anyways, I will be seeing you guys soon. And in the next video, we will be discussing Extreme Rules predictions. So stay tuned for that. Just go right ahead and watch it. All right. Thank you guys. Goodbye.